Picture two guys, same city, same age. Both started working at 25 with the same salary, around $40,000 a year. 20 years later, one of them owns two properties, has investments quietly growing in the background, and genuinely does not stress about money. The other one, still living paycheck to paycheck, not because he spent recklessly, not because he was lazy, he just never learned the rules. Here's the uncomfortable truth no one tells you. Wealthy people are not smarter than you. They don't have secret access to investments you can't touch. They don't get lucky every single time. What they have is a completely different set of rules for how money works. And the wild thing? Most of them never talk about it. Today, we're breaking that silence. These are the 5 money rules rich people follow quietly. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. Problem set up. Most of us grew up learning one version of financial advice. Work hard, save a little, don't spend too much, and hope things work out. And look, that's not wrong, but it's massively incomplete. Because here's what no one told us. Saving alone doesn't build wealth. Working harder alone doesn't build wealth. And being good with money in the way most people think about it, it barely moves the needle. The real game is being played on a completely different board. And today, we're going to show you exactly what that board looks like. Rule 1. They pay themselves first, before bills, before fun, before everything. Most people follow a simple mental formula. Earn money, then pay bills, then spend on life, then save whatever is left. Rich people flip that formula completely. It looks like this. Earn money, save first, pay bills, spend what remains. Sounds small, right? It's not. It's actually massive. Here's why. When saving is the last step, it almost never happens. Life always fills the gap. Something always comes up. A dinner, a weekend trip, a random expense you didn't see coming. But when saving is the first step, it's already done before your brain has a chance to spend it. Psychologists call this pre-commitment. You're making the decision before temptation shows up. Wealthy people automate this. The moment their salary hits their account, a portion, typically 20 to 30%, moves automatically into a separate investment or savings account. They never even see it. Imagine a river. Most people try to catch water at the end of the stream. Rich people build a dam at the top and let everything else flow after. Action step. Before your next paycheck hits, decide what percentage you're going to save first. Even 10% to start changes the game entirely. Rule 2. They understand the difference between assets and liabilities, and they choose carefully. Here's a question most people can't answer confidently. What is an asset? Most people would say things like, my car, my house, my phone, and on a balance sheet? Technically, yes. But in the real world of wealth building, that thinking keeps people poor. Rich people use a different definition. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out. Your car doesn't put money in your pocket. It takes it. Insurance, fuel, maintenance, depreciation. Your phone? Same story. Now contrast that with a rental property. It puts rent money in your pocket every month. A stock portfolio? It pays dividends. A business? It generates revenue. These are true assets. The wealthy are obsessed with accumulating things that generate income. Middle-class thinking, on the other hand, is often obsessed with things that look like assets but actually drain money quietly in the background. Think of 2 buckets. One has a tap at the top, constantly filling it. That's an asset. The other has a hole at the bottom, slowly draining it. That's a liability dressed up as a status symbol. Every time you're about to make a major purchase, ask yourself one question. Does this put money in my pocket or take it out? Rule 3, they let time do the heavy lifting. They understand compound growth on a deep level. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. Whether he actually said that doesn't matter. What matters is that it's true. Here's the simple version. You invest $10,000. It grows at 8% per year. After year 1, you have $10,800. But here's where it gets interesting. In year 2, you're not earning 8% on $10,000. You're earning 8% on $10,800. The growth grows. Over 30 years, that original $10,000, with no additional contributions, becomes over $100,000. You did nothing. Time did the work. Now imagine contributing regularly. The numbers become staggering. But here's the psychological catch that most people miss. Compound growth feels invisible at the beginning. In the first few years, the numbers barely move. And that's exactly when most people quit. They don't feel the momentum. They don't see dramatic results. So they stop. Wealthy people understand that the early years are not the reward phase. They are the foundation phase. You plant the tree now so it can give shade for decades. At the top, it's tiny. It barely moves. But halfway down the hill, it's enormous and unstoppable. The people who start early are at the top of the hill with a snowball. Everyone else is watching from the bottom, wishing they had started. Start small, start now, and don't touch it. Rule 4. They spend big on things that matter and spend almost nothing on things that don't. Here's one of the most misunderstood things about genuinely wealthy people. They are often not living the flashy lifestyle you imagine. The research on this is fascinating. Studies on high net worth individuals, people worth millions, show that most of them drive modest cars, live in average-sized homes, shop at regular grocery stores, and rarely wear designer clothes. But they will absolutely pay for a world-class accountant. They'll pay for courses in education that grow their skills. They'll invest in high-quality health, because health is the most valuable asset of all. And they'll pay for experiences that genuinely enrich their lives. The pattern is intentional spending, not frugality across the board, not recklessness. It's making deliberate choices about where money goes and being almost boring about everything else. This is the opposite of how most people spend. Most people spend impulsively on small things, a coffee here, a subscription there, a random online purchase at midnight, and then feel guilty about the big purchases that actually matter. Imagine a leaky boat. Most people are bailing out water with a teaspoon while ignoring the massive hole at the bottom. Wealthy people fix the big hole first and don't worry about the teaspoon. Look at your last 3 months of spending. Where are the big leaks? That's where to start. Rule 5. They think in decades, not months, and they protect their future self fiercely. Here's a psychological concept that explains a lot about why people stay broke. Present bias. Present bias is our brain's natural tendency to overvalue what's happening right now and undervalue what will happen in the future. It's why we eat the cake even though we know we want to be healthy. It's why we spend the money today even though we know we want to retire comfortably. The future version of you feels abstract, distant, not quite real. So we steal from them constantly, not maliciously, but almost unconsciously. Rich people have trained themselves to see their future self as vividly as their present self. They make financial decisions as if their 65-year-old self is in the room watching. They also think in systems, not willpower. They know willpower fails, so they set up structures, automatic investments, locked accounts, spending rules that protect their future self even when their present self doesn't feel like it. Imagine two versions of you, the one standing here today and the one who will exist in 30 years. Every financial decision is a message you're sending to that future version. What message are you sending right now? This is not about sacrifice. It's about clarity. When you can clearly see who you're building toward, the short-term trade-offs stop feeling like losses. They start feeling like loyalty to yourself. So let's bring it all together. The 5 rules rich people follow quietly are not secrets. They're not complicated, but they are counterintuitive because they require you to think differently about money than most people around you do. Pay yourself first. Build real assets. Let time compound your wealth. Spend intentionally and protect your future self like they're a real person, because they are. None of this requires a high income. None of it requires being born into privilege. It requires a decision to start playing the game by different rules. The 2 guys at the start of this video, same salary, same city, same starting line. The only difference was the rules they followed. Which rules are you following? If this video gave you a different way of thinking about money, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to go deeper on any of these concepts, compound growth, asset building, money psychology, we have full videos on every single one. The links are right here. We'll see you in the next one.